Ever dreamed of a backyard that feels like a peaceful retreat without spending a fortune? Well, what if I told you that the secret is right in front of you, and it's bamboo? Welcome back to Archon Aesthetic Studio, where we turn simple materials into stunning designs. If you love budget-friendly transformations, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our creative community. Now, let's talk about this beautiful yet inexpensive bamboo fencing, and why it might be the perfect upgrade for your outdoor space. Part 1. The charm of bamboo plus wood, a timeless combo. Look at this fence. It's simple, yet absolutely stunning. The combination of natural bamboo with deep brown wooden framing creates a warm, inviting feel, like something straight out of a tropical villa. But here's the best part. Bamboo isn't just about aesthetics. It's eco-friendly, cost-effective, and incredibly durable when installed the right way. Now, let's break down some clever design tricks used here that you can steal for your own backyard. 1. Layering for strength and style. Notice how the bamboo isn't just stacked randomly. It's secured behind a wooden frame with horizontal slats, giving it extra stability and structure. This means no flimsy, wobbly panels, just a strong, long-lasting fence. Plus, the contrast between the dark wood and light bamboo makes the whole design pop. And if you're wondering, can I do this myself? Absolutely. This setup is beginner-friendly and requires only basic tools. 2. The magic of vertical greens. Here's something you might not have noticed right away. Those climbing vines. Leaf fluttering in the wind, see how they weave up the fence? That's intentional. By adding climbing plants like jasmine or ivy, you blend the fence seamlessly into your garden while keeping the structure visually soft and organic. Over time, the greenery will wrap around the bamboo, creating a lush, private oasis. Not to mention, plants act as natural insulators, keeping your yard cooler in the summer. 3. The foundation. A small detail that makes a big difference. Look down at the base of the fence. See how neatly the plants and mulch are arranged? This isn't just for looks. Mulching around the base helps retain moisture and prevents the bamboo from deteriorating too quickly. Smart, right? Also, notice how the ground cover plants are placed at the edges? That's a pro move. They help create a soft transition from the fence to the lawn, making everything feel more natural and well integrated. So, what do you think? Could this be the backyard upgrade you've been looking for? Let me know in the comments. And if you're planning your own DIY fence, what style are you going for? Modern, rustic, or tropical? Part 2. A creative and affordable bamboo fence with interwoven natural ropes. Now, let's take a step further into the world of bamboo fencing. Because this isn't just a fence, it's a statement. Look at the craftsmanship here. The combination of thick bamboo poles and intricately woven natural ropes creates a design that feels both rustic and elegant. It's the kind of fence that doesn't just mark boundaries, it tells a story. But what makes it special? And why should you consider it for your own space? Let's break it down. 1. The art of openwork design, more than just a fence. Unlike a solid bamboo wall, this design introduces breathability. The vertical bamboo poles are spaced out just enough to let in light and air, making your outdoor space feel open rather than closed off. It's perfect if you love privacy but don't want to feel boxed in. And here's something interesting. This open structure also allows wind to pass through, reducing the chances of storm damage. So if you live in a windy area, this could be a game changer. 2. The natural rope weave. Aesthetic meets functionality. Now, let's talk about those woven natural ropes. This isn't just for looks, though, let's be honest, it does add a stunning handcrafted touch. The weaving technique actually reinforces the structure, keeping the bamboo poles tightly secured while allowing for some natural flexibility. This matters because bamboo expands and contracts with temperature changes. The rope holds everything together without causing stress on the bamboo, which means less warping and a longer-lasting fence. And if you're thinking, can I do this myself? Absolutely. The trick is choosing a strong, weather-resistant rope, like jute or coconut fiber, and learning a few simple weaving techniques. 3. Creating a seamless garden integration. Now, look beyond the fence. See how it blends so naturally into the environment? That's intentional. The mix of bamboo and rope makes it feel like a natural extension of the garden rather than just a divider. If you want to recreate this effect, consider planting greenery along the fence line. Climbing vines, ornamental grasses, or even flowering plants can soften the structure and make it feel even more organic. And let's not forget the stone pathway next to it. That clean, modern contrast between natural bamboo and smooth stone, it's a perfect balance, like a Zen garden meets rustic charm. Part 3. An eco-friendly and low-cost bamboo fence featuring a crisscross lattice design. Now, imagine stepping into your backyard and being greeted by a cozy, sunlit patio surrounded by a lush, flower-filled garden. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, what makes this scene even more special is that gorgeous bamboo lattice fence. Not just a barrier but a design statement that enhances the entire space. This isn't just about aesthetics. It's about creating a functional and sustainable outdoor retreat. So, let's dive into what makes this bamboo fence such a fantastic choice and how you can bring a similar look into your own garden. 1. A fence that breathes life into your space. Unlike solid wood or metal fences that can feel heavy and closed off, this crisscross bamboo lattice offers a perfect balance of privacy and openness. It subtly defines the patio area while still allowing glimpses of the surrounding greenery. That means you get just enough seclusion to enjoy your morning coffee in peace, but without losing the airy, connected to nature vibe. And here's a little trick. Because of its open design, this type of fence can actually make a small garden feel larger. The eye naturally follows the diagonal lines, creating a sense of depth and expansion. If you have a compact outdoor space, this could be the perfect way to keep it from feeling boxed in. 2. Sustainability meets affordability. Let's be honest, fencing can get expensive. But bamboo? It's one of the most cost-effective materials out there, especially if you're aiming for an eco-friendly solution. It grows incredibly fast, requires minimal processing, and blends beautifully with any natural setting. But here's something you might not have considered. Bamboo's durability rivals even hardwoods. When properly treated, it can withstand the elements for years without warping or rotting. That means you get a long-lasting, stylish fence without breaking the bank. Want to take it a step further? If you're into DIY projects, you can build a fence like this yourself with some bamboo poles, wood posts, and a little patience. A weekend project that transforms your backyard? Sounds like a win. 3. The secret to a picture-perfect garden integration. Now, let's talk about the real showstopper, the stunning floral border hugging the fence. Sunflowers, petunias, and vibrant greenery spill over the edges, making the whole space feel effortlessly organic. This is where thoughtful design really shines. The fence isn't just sitting there, it's interacting with the garden. The lattice work gives climbing plants something to latch onto, while the natural bamboo tones provide a warm contrast to the bright blossoms. If you're looking to recreate this effect, consider adding climbing roses, jasmine, or ivy to your own fence. Over time, the plants will weave through the bamboo, creating a living wall that's as practical as it is breathtaking. And finally, creating a space that invites you in. At the end of the day, your outdoor space should feel like an extension of your home, somewhere inviting, peaceful, and uniquely yours. This bamboo lattice fence does exactly that. It's not just about marking boundaries, it's about shaping an experience. Part 4. An eco-friendly and low-cost bamboo fence featuring a vertical panel design. Alright, now let's shift our focus to something a little more private, a little more structured, this vertically aligned bamboo fence. You see, if the lattice fence we talked about earlier was all about openness and elegance, this one is the definition of secluded tranquility. There's something undeniably charming about how the tightly placed bamboo poles create a warm, natural enclosure. It feels sturdy, organic, and incredibly inviting. A perfect choice if you want a fence that offers full privacy while still embracing nature's raw beauty. Now, let's talk about design. Blending structure with nature. One of the biggest challenges with privacy fences is making them feel less like a barrier and more like an extension of your outdoor space. And that's exactly what this bamboo setup does so effortlessly. Notice how the natural imperfections in the bamboo poles actually enhance the aesthetic? Those little textures, the slight variations in color, it all comes together to create a fence that doesn't feel manufactured, but rather like it belongs in the landscape. And that wooden gate? It's the perfect finishing touch. A rustic accent that keeps everything feeling cozy and inviting instead of harsh and closed off. But here's something you might not have considered. Did you know that bamboo fencing like this isn't just about aesthetics? It's also a sustainable and budget-friendly alternative to traditional wooden fences. Bamboo is one of the fastest growing plants in the world, making it a fantastic eco-conscious choice. Plus, because it's naturally resistant to pests and decay, you won't need to treat it with loads of chemicals. Thinking about durability? Here's a tip. If you want to make sure your bamboo fence lasts, seal it with a UV protectant finish. This keeps it from fading or becoming brittle over time, especially if you live in an area with intense sun exposure. Now, imagine this. Picture stringing up some soft, warm fairy lights along the top of the fence. Maybe adding a few climbing plants, jasmine, wisteria, or even ivy, to let nature weave itself into the design. Suddenly, your fence is more than just a boundary. It becomes an intimate, glowing sanctuary where you can escape after a long day. And that's the magic of bamboo fencing. It's functional, sustainable, and effortlessly beautiful, all while creating a space that feels like home. Part 5. The perfect DIY fusion, bamboo and pallet fence. Alright, let's switch things up a little. If the fully vertical bamboo fence we talked about earlier was all about privacy and natural elegance, this design takes things one step further by introducing a rustic pallet element right in the middle. At first glance, you might be wondering, why mix two materials? Wouldn't a fully bamboo fence look more uniform? But here's the thing, sometimes it's those unexpected combinations that make a design truly stand out. Balancing texture and functionality. Bamboo gives you that warm, organic feel, but pallets, they add structure, depth, and a little bit of that DIY charm. Notice how the bamboo panels on either side feel soft and natural, while the wooden pallet section in the middle brings in a more structured, industrial look. That's the key to making mixed material fences work: contrast. And the best part? Pallets are often cheap or even free if you know where to find them. A quick sanding, a little staining, and suddenly you've got a fence section that feels custom-made. But here's something you might not have considered. This kind of hybrid fencing isn't just about aesthetics. It's also practical. Bamboo can sometimes feel too lightweight, especially in windy areas. But adding a solid wood section in the middle, that's a genius way to create stability while still keeping that natural vibe. Plus, pallet fencing is perfect for vertical gardening. Imagine attaching small planters, hanging herbs, or even weaving some fairy lights through those gaps. With just a few tweaks, this fence could double as a functional green wall. Now, let's talk about the setting. See how the fence is framed by lush greenery, flowering plants, and a neatly arranged stone pathway? That's intentional. Whenever you're working with rustic or natural materials like this, the best way to make them shine is by complementing them with landscaping that feels effortless. Think layered plants, soft mulching, and a mix of textures. And that little touch of climbing greenery on the right? Give it a few months, and this fence will start to feel like it's been here forever, seamlessly blending into the space. Part 6. The secret to a Zen garden. So, picture this. You step outside, barefoot on cool, soft grass. The air is fresh, carrying the scent of growing greens. A few steps forward, and there it is, your own little sanctuary. A bamboo-fenced vegetable garden, tucked away from the world, peaceful and perfectly balanced. Feels nice, doesn't it? This design takes what we talked about earlier, a mix of natural materials like bamboo and wood, and refines it into something even more intentional. It's not just a fence anymore, it's a frame for the space, wrapping everything in warmth and simplicity. But what really makes this work? Let's break it down. Why bamboo? Bamboo isn't just about aesthetics. Sure, it looks stunning, but it also creates structure without feeling heavy. Unlike solid wood fences that can feel rigid, bamboo has this way of making a space feel enclosed yet breathable, like a soft, natural hug for your garden. And those horizontal support beams? They're more than just decorative. They add strength to the fence while also giving it that traditional Japanese Zen garden vibe. It's all about balance. The raised garden beds, a game changer. Now, let's talk about the real stars of this setup, the raised garden beds. Framed with thick bamboo poles, they don't just look amazing, they're also super functional. Raised beds mean better soil drainage, no more waterlogged roots. Less bending over, your back will thank you. Defined, organized planting spaces, which makes everything look effortlessly neat. And let's be real, doesn't it just make the whole space feel more polished? Like every plant has its own little home, a pathway with purpose. Now, imagine this garden without the stone pathway. It would still be beautiful, sure, but would it feel as inviting? Probably not. Those stepping stones do something subtle but powerful. They guide you through the space. They create movement, drawing your eye and your feet deeper into the garden. And what's at the end? A simple wooden bench, just waiting for you to sit, breathe, and enjoy the view. Now, here's a thought. What if you took this idea and made it your own? Maybe you'd add some fairy lights wrapped around the bamboo poles for a soft glow at night. Or maybe you'd introduce a small water feature, a little trickling fountain, to make it even more tranquil. So, what would you change? Would you keep it exactly like this, or put your own spin on it? Let's talk in the comments. And stick around, because we've got even more garden magic coming up next. Part 7. The magic of bamboo lighting. You know that feeling when the sun sets, and suddenly your garden transforms into something almost magical? That's exactly what's happening here. Picture it, a warm evening, a soft breeze in the air. The bamboo fence that looked so natural and calming during the day now glows with this beautiful, golden light. It's subtle, yet dramatic. A perfect balance of function and atmosphere. But here's the real question. Why does this work so well? Let's break it down. The power of uplighting. See how the light fixtures are placed at the base of each bamboo post? That's called uplighting, and it's one of the easiest ways to add depth and drama to an outdoor space. Instead of just throwing light around, it creates these soft shadows, highlighting the textures and natural imperfections of the bamboo. And it's not just about looks, it's about feeling. This kind of lighting makes the space feel intimate, warm, and inviting. Imagine walking outside after a long day, and instead of pitch darkness or harsh white floodlights, you're met with this soft, golden glow. It's almost like stepping into a high-end resort, but it's your backyard. Why bamboo works so well with light? Bamboo is already a great material. It's sustainable, strong, and naturally beautiful. But at night, it becomes something else entirely. The way light catches its vertical lines creates this rhythmic pattern, making the fence feel almost like a piece of living art. And notice the tiny specks of light reflecting off the surface? That's because bamboo has a slightly glossy finish, which makes it interact with light in a way that wood or concrete never could. It's a small detail, but one that makes a huge difference, bringing this look to your own space. So now, you're probably wondering, how do you recreate this? Here's the good news. It's way easier than you think. All you need are warm LED spotlights, placed low to the ground. Keep the spacing consistent to create that clean, symmetrical look. And if you want to take it up a notch, add a hidden strip light along the top edge of the fence, like in this setup. That soft top glow ties everything together beautifully. Now, over to you. Imagine your backyard with this kind of lighting. Would you go for the same golden glow, or maybe try something different, like a cooler, moonlit tone? Let's talk in the comments. And stay tuned, because next, we're diving into even more ways to make your outdoor space feel like a dream. Part 8. The magic of bamboo lighting, bringing nature to life. If the last scene was all about warmth and ambience, this one takes us in a whole new direction, blending structure with nature. Imagine stepping into a garden where the fence isn't just a boundary but a living, breathing part of the landscape. That's exactly what's happening here. The bamboo fence, already a stunning element on its own, now doubles as a natural trellis for climbing plants. And here's where it gets interesting. It's not just about aesthetics. This setup is doing so much more than meets the eye. Why this works so well? Let's talk about contrast. The rigid, structured lines of the bamboo fence create a sense of order. But then you have these lush green vines, weaving their way up, softening the look, making it feel organic, almost effortless. It's that perfect balance between structure and wildness that makes this design so captivating. And beyond just looking great, these climbing plants actually help keep the space cooler by absorbing heat and providing natural shade. Plus, they act as a subtle privacy screen, filtering views without completely closing things off. How to achieve this look? So, how do you bring this idea into your own space? It's simpler than you might think. Start with a bamboo fence. It's sturdy, sustainable, and blends beautifully with outdoor settings. Then, choose the right climbing plants. Something like clematis, jasmine, or ivy will thrive and create that lush green effect over time. The key? Guide them. Notice how each plant has a vertical support? That's intentional. It helps shape their growth, keeping the look tidy while still feeling natural. Now, let's talk. Would you let the vines take over completely for a full green wall? Or do you like this balanced look where the bamboo is still visible? Let me know in the comments. And stick around, because next, we're diving even deeper into ways to blend natural textures into your outdoor space. Part 9. The magic of bamboo lighting, the secret beach escape. Imagine this. You step through a narrow bamboo passage, feeling the crunch of soft sand beneath your feet. Sunlight filters through the woven walls, casting playful shadows. And then, just ahead, this little hidden paradise. A cozy nook, tucked away, as if you've stumbled upon a secret beach retreat that only you know about. This space is a masterclass in bringing the beach to your backyard. It's not just about the materials, it's about how they work together to create a feeling. The bamboo fencing and woven panels instantly transport you somewhere tropical. But notice how it's not just straight, rigid lines. The twisted driftwood branches add that perfect touch of raw, organic energy, almost as if the ocean itself placed them there. Why this feels so inviting? It's all about layering textures. The rough, sun-kissed rope wrapped around bamboo poles makes it feel like a cozy seaside retreat. The sand underfoot? That's not just for looks. It completely shifts the experience. No cold concrete. No stiff flooring. Just pure, barefoot relaxation. And then there's the pop of bold, colorful cushions. They break up the natural tones, giving the space a vibrant, welcoming energy. It's playful, it's inviting, and most importantly, it feels like a getaway. How you can bring this vibe home? Now, let's talk about recreating this. First, think about defining your space. Bamboo fencing or even a simple woven screen can instantly carve out a private nook. Adding driftwood or raw branches, that's the detail that makes it feel truly organic, not just another DIY project. Then, play with textures. Rope, sand, and would all come together here in a way that feels intentional yet effortless. And don't forget the comfort factor. Those soft, colorful cushions are the difference between a space that looks good and one that you actually want to sink into for hours. So, what's your take? Would you go all in and add the sand element? Or would you tweak this idea to fit a more traditional patio? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because next, we're diving into even more ways to bring natural textures into your outdoor space. Part 10. The magic of bamboo lighting, a fence that comes to life. So, you want a backyard that feels alive? Not just a space, but an experience. something that sparks joy every time you step outside. Well, take a look at this bamboo fence. It's not just a boundary. It's a canvas, a garden, and a statement piece all in one. There's something special about bamboo. It's raw, natural, and effortlessly tropical. But here's where the magic happens. Pops of color. Those vibrant planters, splashed in red, yellow, green, and blue, instantly take this from just a fence to a full-blown living wall of energy. Why this works so well? It's all about contrast. The warm, earthy tones of bamboo are the perfect backdrop for bold, playful hues. But it's not just about color, it's about depth. Notice how the pots are staggered at different heights? That creates movement, making the whole setup feel dynamic rather than flat. And the flowers? They're not just decoration. They soften the structure, making it feel welcoming and organic. Each bloom adds a little more life, like nature itself is leaning into the design. How you can do this at home? If you have a plain fence, you already have the perfect starting point. Hanging planters like these are an instant game changer. Want to take it a step further? Try mixing in painted bamboo accents, subtle mural details, or even woven textures to add personality. But here's something you might not have considered: customizing the planters themselves. A few brush strokes, a pattern, or even a gradient effect can turn basic pots into art pieces. Suddenly, your fence isn't just a fence anymore. It's a creative expression. What's your take? Would you go for bright, bold colors like this? Or would you keep it subtle with soft pastels and neutrals? Let me know in the comments, because next, we're looking at even more ways to make outdoor walls stand out. Thank you for watching. If you love beautiful home and garden inspirations, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more. And now, we'd love to hear from you. If you could redesign your home, what's the first thing you would change? Tell us in the comments. Also, let us know, where are you watching from? We're excited to connect with viewers from all over the world.